Welcome, everybody, to the Superhumanistic podcast, where we talk about all things health, wellness, and longevity. Thank you for joining us today. We are your hosts. I'm David.
I'm Jessica.
Make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button on this podcast so you never miss another episode. We put out one episode a week every Saturday. Make sure that you follow our YouTube channel. If you want to view this podcast, check us out on Instagram for additional longevity tips. And don't forget to share this podcast with someone that you love that is also on a health and wellness journey. Last week, we talked about little small movements that you can start incorporating into your lifestyle each day that are really going to allow you to live a long, healthy life without having to go to the gym necessarily and build some huge muscle there. This week, we are going to be jumping into really one of the things that scares a lot of people when it comes to getting older.
Yeah, I know I am starting to already get into this, but it's really when we are losing our memory. That's my biggest fear as well.
Yeah, it can be really concerning as you get older, especially if you've experienced this in your personal life with a loved one when they can't recognize other loved ones.
Or even recognize what your name is.
Just not feeling like themselves every day, and you kind of notice that as well.
Yeah, so memory loss is not our normal aging. Here's something hopeful, though, with it.
Yeah, what's hopeful is the fact that memory loss is not inevitable.
Yeah, it's caused by our lifestyle and not age.
So let's jump into some factors that cause shrinking of the brain as you get older. And that's first one is going to be that loneliness that people experience when you're not getting out there and being social. You're sitting there and scrolling on your phone all the time, and you're not making those real human connections with your community.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in the past too, with needing those connections in order to have longer lives. And it also helps when we are number 2 inactive. Being able to have more of a community does get you to be more active as well.
The third one that causes issues as you age is going to be poor sleep. So we've talked about this time and time again on this podcast. It's so important to get a good solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. There's so many different ways that you can start doing that, so many tips on how to improve your sleep. Start with the smartwatch as well to track your sleep, so definitely start looking into that a little bit more, or go back and listen to a previous episode to learn more about that.
And the fourth one is that lack of novelty. And we'll get into that in a little bit here, but really let's get into a few things that can help with our memory. So walking, we've talked about this a lot in many of our episodes and how it helps just to have that movement, even if it is walking. But again, walking does increase that blood flow to our brains, and this includes that hippocampus in our brains. That's going to help with that memory.
Yeah, that hippocampus is going to be really your memory center in your brain.
So walking literally helps to grow our brains.
So sleep is like a brain wash cycle. I've heard this a lot of times and read about this a lot too. Oftentimes your brain just needs time to really process everything that has happened in the day. So whenever you're going to sleep at night, you're getting a good amount of sleep. You're going into those different sleep cycles like deep sleep and your REM sleep. That's your body taking time to process everything that happened today and kind of essentially flesh it all out.
Right, and when we don't get that quality sleep, we've talked about this too, that's when that inflammation kind of takes over, and then plaque tends to start building up.
Yeah, I think an important factor for your brain is going to be that curiosity keeps you young. So learning new things forces your brain to grow. I know we've talked about this before as well. And learning a new instrument, learning a new language. My wife is currently learning Spanish through the Duolingo app, which makes it super easy and fun. I've wanted to get into learning the guitar. I'm always really reading or challenging myself and learning something new. So it's really important just to be curious, try new things, and really have that growth mindset as you get older.
Yeah, I think a little bit, I see this a lot with my nephews, or even teens around when we go out to places, we tend to always just I see people on their phones constantly. And to me, that leads to that boredom and more anxiety. So boredom or being on our phones or that sort of thing is actually not allowing us to be creative. So boredom then ends up shrinking our brains.
All right, so we'll jump into the superhumanistic memory protocol now, and my wife will jump into a few steps and things that you can try to stay more superhumanistic.
Yeah, so really the first one is to move daily. So we've talked about this before, even if it's just walking, you want to aim for 30 minutes of walking every day. Sleeping deeply, so setting your room and space where you're sleeping to be the most optimistic to allow you to get to that deep quality sleep. Eating more plant-based foods. I know we kind of switch it up. Every couple of weeks we'll just go plant-based, and that's really what our diet will be for that week or two. Connect with people, so joining different groups, whether it be a walking group to help you move as well. Maybe it's a book study that you want to get into to help more with that creativity, but just getting into some sort of group or connecting with people. And then learning something new. Like my husband said, it could be I'm learning a new language. I am learning, instead of brushing my teeth with my right hand, I'm going to brush it with my left hand because that's different and new for me. Or maybe you write with your right hand and you want to learn to write with your left hand. So just pick something that is new for you to learn. And that's really how we can make our memories even stronger.
All right, well, that sounds like something everybody out there can start doing. Go for a walk, go to bed earlier, eat some veggies and plants, make a smoothie perhaps, go for a walk, and while you're walking, talk to your neighbors. So those are all things that you can kind of easily incorporate into your life, and that's going to help you keep your memory as you age. So I'll go ahead and close it out from here. Our brains are like plastic. They're constantly changing, neurons that wire together, fire together, all those type of things that you've probably heard over the years. So just super important to really stay curious and make sure that you follow Superhumanistic on YouTube and on Instagram. If you want to get more longevity tips, make sure that you share this podcast with someone that you love that is also on a health and wellness journey so that they can start improving their life to keep their memory as they age as well. That's super important for all of our family members and friends. So make sure that you get out there, start moving, start talking, and stay more superhumanistic. We'll see you next time.
Bye.